kind. Thank
Tell
you.
me about, I want to first hear, give me like the 411 about uh, what you do, your brand, and where you're from. So just so the people can know a little bit more about you.
My product is simple. It's jam. Um, However, it's been humbling and gratifying that I've been able to reach so many, and I've been reached by many through this simple product. And really, it started, you know, I have been making jam for a while for friends, for family, just, make meaningful gifts. And it wasn't until uh, third lockdown that it came to be the way it is. But if you want, I don't know how far back you want to go. So um,
Tell me about like, so like,
where I'm from.
where did you grow up?
Okay, we can start there. I was born and raised in the Philippines. My family moved here over 30 years ago, maybe. Oh my gosh, I'm giving away my age. Thanks. uh, um, I we moved to Scarborough. I went to school in Cedar Brae. That's a tough school, and I mean tough. Like I don't know if you're familiar with Scarborough, but anyway, it's a great
Yes, I
community.
am.
It's a great community. And then I met my husband, and I think because of him, I'll always identify as an army spouse. That we're always an army family. We've moved around. Um, we got posted to Trenton, I think 2009, and loved it. Loved Absolutely loved. We chose to buy in Carrying Place, which is across the Bay of Quinte from
That's
the
where my
base.
parents. That's where my
Yeah,
parents raised us.
loved the county, and it was different then, um, and and then we got posted to Toronto. We lived in the distillery because we thought, we're gonna get posted to the city. We're gonna explore downtown living. We had young kids then. We lived in this tiny condo, but that was kind of like a staging ground for us. Really, we did everything with the kids. Took them to musicals and games and whatever. We really explored the city, and then got posted. Sorry, no, my husband. So he retired while we were in Toronto, and then we thought, where would we like to plant roots and really settle down? And we chose to move back to the county, and we've been back here ever since. And yeah, so it's really like making jam is a way for me to reach out to friends because we have friends all over the place, and it wasn't until I gave a jar to a friend of mine, who Amanda, she owns Hello Bonjour in Wellington. She really encouraged me to maybe take it a step up, and like we were all kind of languishing at that time. Do something
Ah,
fun, and so anyway, it's just kind of exploded since.
that's incredible. Now, Joe, it's. I want to go here with you quickly because you just said something that really resonated with me. Are you familiar with the five love languages?
Yes, 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 I
So
am.
you mean to tell me, and I think this is really, really cool, that this whole business, this brand of yours started with the love language, acts of service, friendship.
Yes, yes, I guess you can say that. Yes, because it's hard to reach out to friends that you don't see often, right? And family. So, like anytime somebody's birthday, the kids would make something and we would ship it to friends and family. Or when my husband was deployed, we would send care packages. Some of it were made and whatnot. But yes, the jam is a love language. That's my thing. Spread joy. Keep it simple. um
I love that. I love that. Yeah, and for people listening that know about the five love languages, the reason I could say it was gifts as well. I mean, you could say that, but obviously it's a business now, so you're you're making it and selling it. I love though that as a kind of a why behind it. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's tricky, eh? I've heard that from folks where don't turn your hobby into a business. And honestly, it's only been a year for me. The entrepreneurial spirit in me is still very, it's like the honeymoon phase. So I'm riding it. I'm enjoying it. I'm still having fun. All the collaborations that I've been very grateful and fortunate enough to have I've done so far. I hope it continues. So yeah, it is a business. I'm starting to really get structured with things, which is kind of a dance, right? Like it's fun. I want to keep it fun and genuine, but also it is like, but honestly, Josh, money is not what's driving this. It's not, to make a profit is not what's driving me. It's about creating value. I listened to your interview with Rebecca yesterday, and a lot of most everything you guys talked about resonated with me, and I really appreciated listening to that chat. Yeah, it's about creating value. Um,
Yeah, I was gonna say because like the language you were just using just now, it really resonated with me because I think about that with OSM a lot, where it's like I'm so focused on the value output, like the money's like the furthest thing from my mind, and it's funny because you're right, like it is a dance, and for me sometimes it's almost like there's one side of you that's just kind of like, man, like I wish money wasn't even a thing, and we could just do this and we'd be fine and not have to worry about anything. Like, like really, if that's how the world worked, I'd be completely fine with that. But yeah, I totally that resonated with me for that reason.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that has to be the driving force in your endeavors, right? You talk about the why and you talk about a life purpose, and it's got to be more than the material things, I guess I'm saying. Yeah. I it brings me to one of my favorite quotes by Einstein. It's the strive not to be a success, but rather to be a value. So I try to remember that every time you're conversing with friends, with people you're just meeting. Words matter. How you say things matter. Adding value to the process of creating something when you're collaborating with someone, like, they ask me, oh, think about Christmas flavor jam or whatever. Like it's how we talk to people and how you come to conclusion in what you're creating, or I don't know, and building friendships, building business relationships. And I'm so new at this, the entrepreneurial thing. And I think as long as you focus on just be respectful of how you talk to people and listen to what they need, what they want, what they're trying to achieve. And I think we can, it's a good common ground for
I
creating
couldn't
value, I think.
I couldn't agree more. You know what? And Joe, I'm going to go here with you because you just made me think of something that um, maybe we don't talk about often enough, which is what we actually get out of that approach to business. Like, when you think about words like mental health and self-care and spreading positivity, I don't know about you, like that does something for me. What does it do for you? Like, what is your perspective of like what one gets out of that, or what you get out of that when that's your focus?
In terms of life, or a bit, I guess it's
Life,
blurred, right?
business.
The lines of life. The older I get, the older my children get, this is like actually a delicate, it's a delicate topic for most of us, but we've had some experiences with our family that it drastically refocuses your focus in life. And when you say keep it simple, simple is difficult to achieve. And when you ask me what does that mean to you, it means everything. It means everything. um, when you say things, when you do things with a purpose, and when you're, I don't know, like everything I do, I just think about what I always tell my kids: the process is the goal. The process is the goal. So when I do something, like I try to explain to them, okay, so here's why we're doing this. It's more than just achieving, like it's not about writing a test. It's about how did you create a system for studying for this, like yes, you got an A, but you didn't sleep for like 3 days. Like it's more than just what you're trying to achieve, but how you're going to achieve it. So yes, focusing on mental health, um, it's everything. Your energy, your attention, it's everything. So you have to be careful on who you give it to. This is why this is so important to me, Josh. Like I know you said that I've been requested, but you still had a choice whether or not you're going to have me on the show, and I appreciate it. That you would think that I have something valuable to say, but I also appreciate what you're trying to do. So I think our time is important, and we've made this time. So things like that all contributes to your mental health, on the systems of how you're, I don't know, living your life. Because life, for me, I think this kind of brings me to like my definition of success. How do we
Mm,
define success? How do we define happiness? For me, it's creating good habits, being consistent with executing those habits. And when you create habits, that's it. That's it. Your life. You're living. That's life. You're really just creating one habit at a one habit on top of another, and then executing them consistently, and reaping the benefits of those habits. And yeah, so
wow.
success and failure are not the goal. It's it's part of the process. The goal is, again, to add value, and come out of it in a way where you feel good about yourself, right? Like you feel good, and you're content that you did something that is of value. I keep saying
Yeah,
value.
yeah. No, I listen. I get it though, because like there's a couple of things that really struck me when you were talking just now, which was what you get out the output, the value, the joy that you bring to others. Everything that you said screamed life. That was the answer. Like life is what I get out of it. Like breathing, thriving, living. Like that's what I get out of the output. And when you talked about habits, like this is really, really cool for me because I'm, you're right, like simplicity is not easy to achieve. And in a lot of cases, there's a lot of things that we almost have to like kill off parts of ourselves to achieve that simplicity, like whether it's pride, ego, the need to control things, like whatever the case may be. But the habits, I want to stick on that for a second because like that to me is so critical. It's like kind of developing one good habit at a time, and then it kind of almost all comes down to like self control. Like how can you kind of mind over matter and really kind of develop that. and let that lead you to a place where you're experiencing the fruits. Like, is that things that kind of come to your mind when you talk about like building those good habits and kind of one thing at a time?
Oh my God, absolutely. I am such a big believer of this. One other thing to learn about me is I'm an avid rower. I row. And I just started, a few years ago when I turned 40. I thought, okay, I'm going to try something new. When was the last time you tried something new for the first time? I tried rowing, loved it. It's indoor rowing. With my friends at Skull House. I want to give them a little shout out. And then that summer, I tried rowing on the water. And with rowing, it's such a great workout. And all the little things, it manifests into how powerful each stroke becomes. And it's the same thing with life. I don't know, every little thing, like, okay, you want to wake up, you want to accomplish more, wake up earlier. But how do you wake up early? Maybe adjust your alarm clock 15 minutes early this tomorrow, and do that for the next week, and then but the thing with creating new habits is you have to give it time, right? There's, what is it? The College of London did a survey where on average it takes about 2 months to develop a habit, depending on the habit, of course. Patience, persistence, grit. And yeah, so it's keep doing it until it becomes automatic, that you're not, it's just like brushing your teeth. You wake up at 5 and you row, and then what's next? And you just, when there's that structure in your day, in your life, I don't know, you feel there's a sense of empowerment, right? That you've got a handle on things, because it's, you're not always going to have a handle on things. So like,
it's so true. Like, oh man, I absolutely love that. Like, even while I'm here in Florida, like I'm literally like mind over matter, like kind of, and I love that you mentioned like like the example of like, okay, how am I going to get up earlier? Okay, what do I need to do the night before? What does the evening look like to prepare for the next day? Like, I love the strategy approach to like thinking it through, but then I love even more the execution of like, let's do it, let's put it into practice, let's be consistent. Like, one of my team members said to me today, they said, it must be so distracting for you because the pool's right there, the hot tub's right there, the basketball court's right there, and you're sitting here typing emails. And I'm like, not at all, because I'm so like, it's almost like the reward. So I'm structuring my day where it's like, I'm going to go hard here for this amount of time when I'm most productive. And for me, that is the morning. I get up early. Mm-hmm. And then like that afternoon is kind of when my brain slows down a little bit. I get a little bit more fatigue, and it's like, all right, now I'm going to jump in the pool. Now I'm going to jump in the hot tub and enjoy it, knowing that the hard work for the day is done.
Absolutely, I totally agree with that. I agree with all of that, Josh. And you have to listen to your body, right? Like, optimize and capitalize on the times that you have a lot of energy. That's when you do speaking engagements, and sometimes you don't have a choice when you can do a job interview or things like that. But listen to your energy level, I think is what I'm saying. And again, going back to habits, just like incremental changes is, I think, just be forgiving of yourself. Just little tiny things, and then just do those tiny things over and over. Yes.
So okay. So I want to hear from you on this then, and see if we can, let's bring some value here to the people listening. What's a habit that you've developed either specifically in 2022 or before that you look at as like, man, I'm so glad that I've implemented this, and this is how it's changed my life?
I wake up at 5 in the morning. Actually, that's before. Now I've adjusted my alarm clock to 4:30. So I wake up early, and it's funny now, only now in my 40s, that I can definitively say with confidence I'm a morning person. Before I was, no, I'm productive in the morning.
Wow.
That well, here's a good one. It's more like a family habit. We started a tradition 2 years ago, where we started January 1st, and we have this jar at home, and we write every day in one little piece of paper one good thing that happened to you, one good thing that you remember, one good thing that you liked about the day, and then we put it in this jar, and at the end of the year we read it together for New Year's Eve, and it's great because, again, it's more than just writing that one thing. It's, like the kids are thinking about, oh, what are all the good things that happened today? Let me think of one. But in that process, they've thought about 10 good things, right? So it's kind of a nice, we're not super consistent with it. There are days that we don't do it, but it's that's a habit, that's like a new family tradition we've started, which I hope the kids will, continue on when they when they, move on with their lives. Excuse me.
That's so cool. And the thing that makes me I think about right away is that, like, even the concept of like thinking about the good thing that happened that day, because, like, I don't know, they said, like, there's like so many thoughts that one person has in a day, and it's a lot. And like the amount of negative thoughts that subconsciously will just creep in. So when you're doing an exercise that you're consciously thinking about the good thing, I feel like, I mean, I've got nothing to prove this, but to me, it almost feels like that conscious good thought would override a lot of the negative bad thought. I don't know. I think that's a great exercise, though.
Absolutely, absolutely, 100%. Yes, I believe that too. In my heart, I believe that. Yeah, because it's human nature. We've got fears, anxieties about a lot of little things that we're not even conscious of sometimes. So when, like when you're creating this conscious exercise of thinking about good things, even if you've just thought of one, it helps. I think it really helps. What other? I like the ethos. Choose your hard. Choose your hard. Always choose your hard.
Yeah.
Life is pain. Life is pain, but life is also joy and celebration and everything. But yeah, choose your hard. So working out is hard, but I'm choosing that. I'm doing that. Or I don't know. A lot of the hard things we've had to do lately aren't conscious choices, like, virtual school. That isn't really a choice that we've chosen for ourselves, but I don't know. We can choose to make it easy. We let go of certain things, like when they're like just zoning out. Okay, log out. There's the mental health thing again.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Pick
we're,
your
we're
battles.
done with this. Get off your computer. Yeah, it's
and
been
and it's freeing to have that option, to kind of just say, all right, that's not working. All right, turn it off. We'll come back to it.
yeah. Yeah, in a sense, I guess, yeah, in a sense it is a bit forgiving, right? Like,
Mm.
we're lucky, or academically the kids are okay, but not everyone. Some kids are struggling. Like, I can't learn I have a hard time learning online. I like to be in a classroom, just having the boundaries of you're in this space and this is what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I absolutely love this conversation. And yeah, like the habits thing, like I definitely relate with the 5 a.m. get up. I'm really, really productive in the morning. And the fact that like you weren't that way before, and then like through building those good habits, you develop that. I really admire that. That's really, really cool that you were able to do that, because there's so many that struggle with that, and I think they think it's a forever thing they're going to struggle with. But you're living proof that you can make a change if you want to.
It just becomes part of your process. Another thing, if we want to switch back to a bit of business, and this is something that I've learned in my previous role, at my previous job, and it's just the communication, written communication. You know, when you're, even if you're messaging people on Instagram or whatever platform you're using, it's so important to be respectful with how you communicate with people, and just, you know, a little bit of pleasantry, it does not hurt anybody. Because I don't know, it's important, it's important because it for me, it shows you've taken the time to clear your thoughts just enough so you can communicate properly with people. You know, like,
Even if you're upset about something.
especially when you're upset, most especially when you're upset. And that's when you have to think, okay, maybe I don't respond right now. Let's let's wait. Organize my thoughts, write it out, edit it. Because I always, you have to, always have to ask yourself, what are you trying to achieve? What am I trying to achieve by communicating this? Am I like just lashing out? Do I just want to lash out, or do I want things to improve, or do I want the relationship to improve? Like for example, if you're complaining about an experience at a, like, I don't know, like at a restaurant or whatever, use I don't know, constructive. What are you trying to achieve? You want them to get better, because you want to come back, right? Like you want to be able to support them again. It's, you don't want to write them off. You know, everybody's just trying to make a living. But so yeah, so like always think, what am I trying to achieve for saying this?
Yeah, like putting the thought into it. To your point, I actually love this, because I think this is so relevant to today. Because I mean, Joe, speak to this, please chime in here. Like, we're in a world right now where like everybody is at each other's
I
throats
know.
about something, and the customer
Yeah.
service, like, it's funny, like you're ahead of the game if you just say things like thank you nowadays. like like even something as simple as that, like people don't do it anymore.
I know, it's heartbreaking, honestly, Josh. It is heartbreaking. And when I say that your energy, your time, your attention are precious, and it is for that reason that I don't subscribe to certain things. I don't look at certain things. I don't know. I hope I don't, you know, upset your listeners, or I don't offend anybody. But that's me. I'm not preaching. I'm saying this is what's working for me, for my mental
Yeah.
health, for my anxiety. You know, like life is hard enough, and yeah, it's just sometimes there's no purpose to why people say certain things. It's just to incite fear, and I, why, like what is the purpose? To educate. I think there's better ways of communicating certain messages.
Yeah.
If yes, anyway. I don't want to get into
Listen,
trouble.
I am 100%
And you're
with
right,
you.
like the simple things of thank you, please, I'm so grateful, I'm so, like, genuinely grateful. You're ahead of the game. Let's bring that back. Let's bring that back. Let's let that be the norm.
Yeah, it's so true. And when you think about like being respectful and being intentional with critique, or the way you structure things and approach communication, like I find that, or I find and I observe that sometimes people think it's easier to do, like for people that are consciously aware of that already, and they know they need to do that. It's easier for them to do or to take from people they don't know. But when it's your team or people in your family or your clients, sometimes we forget, oh wait, we need to have the same approach, like the like boundaries. Like if you've said that you don't do meetings after lunch, then why are you taking meetings after lunch? Why? Because it's your client. Why? Because it's your, like, you, the boundary's in place for a reason. So why is that boundary in place? Does it need to be there? Assess that, and then if so, then all right, well now execute for it. And it don't matter who it is. I mean, unless it's your kid and it's an emergency or something like that. But I just love the intentionality of like how we communicate and how we set those boundaries to actually have a fruitful life.
Yes, yes. There's this. I don't know if it stemmed from marketing. Under promise, over deliver. I absolutely love that, and I think
Mm.
sure in business it's great, but with your family too, right? Like when you say something, oh, we're gonna do this, over deliver on that with your family first and foremost. I think
I like
so.
that.
Simple thing like yeah, it's showing respect. You know, I I don't know if I can say this. I swear a lot. I'm embarrassed to say, but my kids are on top of me with this, and I don't do it on social media. Um, I don't like on my, you know, I'm very careful with obviously with the way I communicate. So why not at home? It's still honing that habit of
I
trying
no, listen.
not to swear.
I'm with you. Like, I mean, a lot of people don't consider the D word a swear word, but at the same time, I don't use it in front of my clients. I don't use it in front of my team,
Mhm.
but I'll use it at home sometimes. And my wife, she on me. She's like, you don't have to use that word. You're right.
All right, let me think of another word that will
Yeah,
proficiently express how I'm feeling right now.
that's right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um, geez, what else? It's interesting with this with the jam thing. It's how do you what do you think about this, Josh? Like right now, I still feel like when my distributors, I guess that sounds so formal. Like they're really friends, like the friends shop owners that are selling my jam, for example, like Carson or Hello Bonjour or the Lodge in Bath. When they ask, you know, hey Joe, we need more jam. Um, I am still like in awe. I'm like, really? You want more jam? It's amazing. I feel like, you know, they're still kind of doing me a favor. It's such it's just so special for me. But I don't know if this is probably something worthwhile to talk to them about, but I don't know if I'm if it's good business practice to wait for them to ask, or I should have a system where I'm like asking them,
ooh.
but I don't want to like put them in a position where, you know, actually no, we don't need to sell your jam anymore or I don't know, like maybe it's
I
something,
absolutely love this.
right? Like
Absolutely love this.
what should I do,
So
Josh?
so communication is actually the piece that is really
Yeah.
really accurate in this case, and relates, is expectations. So in the communication, because I get you, like it's kind of like, you never want to be like the bother. You never want to be like,
No.
oh,
Yeah.
okay, she's asking again. Like, so what I do is I try to make it and I'm not perfect at this. Like I strive toward this in all areas, and I often fall short. But the thing that I know that really works and gives me the peace of mind is when I say to them up front, and I'll use it by asking questions. I'll be like, try out my jam and just see how long it lasts. Like, and we'll do it a few times, and maybe after a little bit of time, you'll kind of get a knack for knowing like when you might need more, when you're going to sell out, what that time frame looks like, and then let me know what that time frame is, and then if you'd like, so I say if you like, I can put you on a schedule where I reach out every so often within that timeline. So then if you need more, all you got to do is respond, and say you need more, and if you don't even have to respond. But it becomes your reminder based on the timeline that we both understand is when that jam may would run out. And then there's no kind of, now they're expecting to hear from you. They've agreed to it, they've co-signed it, so it's not a bother to them now. So you take that monkey off your back. And I don't know, that would be my approach.
That's a really good advice. Thank you. I will try that.
Yeah, but no, I think the jam thing is really, really cool. I love like the why behind it. I think that's probably my favorite part of it. And yeah, Joe, it's just been absolutely fantastic having you on the show today, and just hearing your heart. And I knew we were going to talk about like just life, and I think that was maybe the thing that I was the most excited to chat with you about today. But we talked about some business stuff too, and I just appreciate your heart, and I think real people are really going to enjoy this episode. And it's just a privilege to be here with you this morning. So thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Oh, likewise, Josh. Thank you so much for taking the time to get to know me a little bit more. I really appreciate it. I appreciate what you do for the community. I think it's great, and I wish you much success in the future.
Thank you.
And I think you'll come back just in time for all the snow to have melted.
There we go. And then we'll do a coffee in person and drink some wine.
I would love that. I'll bring you some jam.
Hey, there we go. There we go. Awesome.
Amazing.
Joe, you have yourself a fantastic day.
You
Blessings
too.
to you and your family. And we'll be chatting.
Okay. Take care.